Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. We are your casters. My name is
And
James.
my name is MG. Let's go!
Let's go indeed,
Yes.
and woohoo! We are now at the top 16 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. MG, how are you feeling today?
I'm pretty excited again because again we're talking about top 16, so best of the best out of the first 32 teams. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Of course, for tonight, we are going to have the first four sets of matches for the top 16. And the following set of matches will be on Wednesday. But first, MG, let's concentrate for today. Who are our competitors for today? Who are the teams who will be battling each other to make it to the top 8 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023?
Yes. For our matches for today, we have Unlock versus 4-Leaf Clover. That's gonna be our first match. Our second match is gonna be Dignity versus Integrate. And our third match is gonna be Kwan Ido versus Essence. And for our last match for today, it's gonna be Hers versus RP1JT.
All right, and whew, this is going to be an intense day, an intense night. Don't you agree, MG?
Actually, yes. I'm actually I've been watching like videos and replays as well from this team.
Mm-hmm.
Um I just remembered like on the first day, we saw 40 Clover using a ranger plus a
Oh.
mechanic on their first match and
Mm-hmm.
second match. I mean, just for their first round and second round. So they've been really successful on using those classes. So right now, I'm kinda thinking if they're still going for those type of lineups. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that I want to see for today's round.
Yes, and the one thing you will see differently for tonight, of course, is the map that we have because we are going to be playing
Oh,
in map number 3, which is quite.
it's the
We haven't
bridge.
seen much of this map in season 1.
Oh, yes.
Because this is the map that not really or the teams don't necessarily like this map basically.
Yeah, I think this is the map that has a low vote when it comes to on picking the map. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, this is gonna be new, and strategies will be tested on this map.
Yes. Well, basically, we need to be quick because we might see a quick front slide coming from these teams to go on to the stack of their opponent. But we'll see what happens for tonight. Of course, for our first match, it's going to be uh,
Unlock.
Unlock versus a four-leaf
Yes.
clover. And like what you mentioned earlier, four-leaf clover played the ranger and mechanic
Yeah.
said in the round number 1. And this time, I'm interested to see what they have in store for us. Same goes for Team Unlock. And we all know how these teams are, incredible at um, their team coordination. Basically, they can time their skills right to benefit one another to win the match.
Yes, and especially if four lift Clover is gonna go for the ranger and mechanic, if ever. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the map is really. I mean, they will benefit a lot on the map. Again, they have like a bridge there that they can actually meet at the middle. That's a very tight spot where they can actually punish and land those suicidal destruction right away on top of their
Mm-hmm.
enemies. So yeah.
Yes. Yes, as the teams are just getting all set for tonight. And for our viewers out there, please do like and share our stream. Of course, this is the first match of our top 16 day 5 of Ragnarok Asia Masters
Yes.
2023. And I'm so hyped up for this one because I can't wait to see all these exciting plays that these teams are going to show us today.
Yes. Again, the first day for this new map is going to be something that everybody should be watching because again, they can actually learn on how to maneuver or take advantage on certain spots for this map, especially for this round. Unlock versus four live. I believe majority of the teams right now is watching these teams because again, it's how I mean they need to plan it out. Like if the
Mhm.
teams are gonna go for at the center, they should be anticipating flanks as well. Or if the team is not gonna take the middle, they should be aware where to go on certain spots. So, yeah.
Yes, and of course, for our viewers out here, please do cheer for your favorite team because they all need your support. Who do you think will win this first match? Is it going to be Unlock or Four Leaf Clover? And whew, we got some interesting things going on here because I've already seen the lineup of Four Leaf Clover over here. What do you for Unlock, MG?
Yes. Okay. For unlock, wow. I mean the classes, right? For the classes, I think they're actually rocking the. Let me just show it. Oh, okay, there you go. Sorry,
All right.
I got stunned for a few seconds because I'm kind of excited about the round for this one. So for the
Mm-hmm.
classes that they have the five base classes, which is the Royal Guard, the Archbishop, the Minstrel, the Sura, and the Sorcerer. And the
Mm-hmm.
two classes that they're gonna add for this lineup is gonna be the Mechanic and the Shadow Chaser.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, and well, I'm excited to see how many mechanics or how many teams will be playing with mechanics for this map. Because again, we haven't seen much of this map in season one. Because players don't really prefer this map anyway.
Yes.
Because maybe for those who are unaware, you'll see that in just a bit. But there is a specific choke point here, and there is a middle ground wherein the one who occupies that basically has more control over the map.
Yes, I agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the map is really good if you're pushing for a very aggressive play. So
Mm-hmm.
if they want to go for that one, again, commitment is one of the factors that they need to consider. At the same time, the execution as well. You don't need to back down if you're gonna push at the middle because again, that middle is a very tight spot. The moment that you hesitated, it's really hard to paddle back or to move back from your original spot. So if you're gonna engage, you need to engage with the seven-man lineup that you have.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about our lineup. MG, what do you see over there? And
Yes.
I'm going to explain what I see over here.
Yeah. Okay. So on the side of on the side of unlock right now they're just stacking here. Majority of their players are trying to scout out because I think they're trying to anticipate the push here coming from the middle side and the north side. And right now
Mm-hmm.
they're using on the side of unlock they're using the mechanic and shadow chaser for their two added classes for this one.
Yes, and for Four-Leaf Clover, they're rocking with a Mechanic and Ranger, I believe, because I just
Ooh.
saw a Ranger a while ago. And this is going to be pretty interesting because we all know Four-Leaf Clover with this kind of lineup, you want to go all out, basically.
Yes. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
and yeah, both of these teams are just waiting for each other right now. They don't want to actually, move closer or go to the middle of the map.
Yeah. And I think the reason why they don't want to do that again, I believe the GGL teams have managed to do scrims a lot with the other guilds inside the GGL, and I think majority of them respects the strategy of each other. That's why I think right now, they're just trying to maximize the time and lessen the errors that they can actually commit for this match.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and right now though, Four-Leaf Clover just occupied the middle ground right here. We might see a push coming from these two teams as we've seen each other right here. Mechanic going in for Four-Leaf Clover, neutral barrier, of course, to stop any long-range attacks from hitting that Mechanic. But yes, both teams are just wary of each other right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sura just scouting each other from Four-Leaf Clover and from Unlock right here. But you don't want to get hit from afar though, so that's why having that neutral barrier on is important, and actually casting that Numa on the ground can be a huge factor for your team.
Yes. Again, as much as possible, you need to play defensively in order for your opponent to have that hesitation if they're gonna go in or they're gonna jump in at the middle of that at the stack. The moment that you
Mm-hmm.
establish your defense is actually a good way in order for you to start re-engaging your opponents on this one. So I think Unlock is just doing it perfectly. They don't want to be rushed at this one. They're just taking their time, and yeah, they're just waiting for Four-Leaf Clover to attack them.
Yes, you don't want to make mistakes right here because again, like what I said, having this middle ground is both advantages and it has a huge disadvantage as well, because you can see there is a choke point on both sides, and when you actually reach the middle, when all of you are just clumped up over there at the
Yeah.
middle of the map, you can get suicidal destruction by that mechanic. And it's
Yes.
going to cause huge damage for your team, so you don't want that to happen. That's why casting specific skills on the floor, like vacuums, and having that sorcerer uh, gain that awareness in every bit of situation that you are dealing with is also a huge option, because again, that suicidal destruction can be a little bit delayed and disabled with that
Mm-hmm.
soul destroyer or soul burn,
Silver, yeah.
basically.
Yes, and as you can see on the side of Unlock right now, they're actually opting out for a like what we saw earlier is a massive Numa placement on the ground and safety wall. For the
Mm-hmm.
reason of, again, they're facing a ranger right now on this match. So again, land protector is not gonna be that super useful. So I think they're just prioritizing the long range just to negate those damages coming from those damage coming from that ranger.
Well, I do agree that having that land protector isn't that necessary compared to having Numas in the neutral barrier. But again, you don't want that diamond dust to hit you. You don't want to get crystallized. You don't want vacuums to you don't want to step on vacuums, basically,
Exactly.
because you don't want
Yeah.
to get stuck. You need all the mobility that you can have in this match. That's why teams don't really want to take that first plunge against one another right here. They're just being cautious because they don't want to make mistakes. But again, 2 minutes are left here for this round, and both teams aren't moving, and they're just waiting for each other right now here. I'm not sure what they're planning to do, but whoever takes that first move can probably have the advantage right here, because um again, Four Leaf Clover has that Ranger. If
Yes.
they take that first move, they can actually use that. They can use that unlimit or no limits. Then, uh, you know, uh, cast that Arrow Storm against
Yes.
them.
Exactly.
And on the side for Unlock, of course they have their Sura to deal massive damage because they have mobility in their area right now or in their space. So if Unlock really doesn't want to take the battle here in the middle ground, Four Leaf Clover can actually just wait for them here
Yes.
and
There.
maybe use that suicidal destruction to pick one off and wait for the timer to go off. But we only have a minute left for this
Let's
match.
go.
No one is actually attacking each other. No one wants to make the first move. I'm not sure what they're planning to do right here.
Well, I mean, technically, on the side of Four Leaf Clover, they're actually just taking advantage of the classes that they have right now. They have the Ranger, so no need to force the issue on the side or attacking Unlock on this one. Let Unlock go to our spot, something like that. On the side of Four Leaf Clover, they have the Ranger to punish. But on the
Mhm.
side of Unlock, if they really want to connect, they need to get closer on the side of Four Leaf Clover. Again,
Mhm.
suicidal destruction. You need to be
Oops, they're
like
starting to
you
push
said.
right
There you
now.
go.
Ooh! Okay, Arrow Storms will connect. Shadow Formation though. Four Leaf Clover actually hit that the Shadow Chaser, but of course he has that SF on the Curse Circle.
Curse
Will
circle.
get past 3 seconds left. This
There we
spells who
go.
has the most peppers here.
Oh.
I don't know. But
Oh.
like it looks like Four Leaf Clover
Yes.
still has 6 right here.
Yeah. I'm not sure with the what do you call this? The unlock. They have 6.
Oh, Unlock has 5.
Yeah, I think they lost 2 players there. Again, the suicidal destruction did connect, but apparently they managed to sponge in the damage. The Royal Guard managed to sponge in all the damage, and he
Mhm.
did I think survive. I believe. Let me just check.
Uh,
Yes.
I'm not sure what they have planned, but they just want to take that last minute battle. It's too risky. It's too risky for play actually for both teams. And as soon as that curse circle actually landed on Four Leaf Clover stack, they just waited for the timer to go off. But yeah, Four Leaf Clover has 6 members remaining, and I think that's 5 um for unlock right there.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. Think,
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to wait
yeah.
for the announcement to who has the first point right here because um again, they need to have those valid checks and they need to check everything right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. That was a. I mean, to be fair, it's really strategic on that one. Like they just want to make sure that all of their like resources are being used for
Mm-hmm.
that specific clash. I mean, they waited. Um, the moment that I think unlock is kind of lax on their defense, I think they saw an opportunity there on the side of 40 Clover, so that's why they went in.
Mm-hmm. And both of these teams just waited for each other. This is an interesting way to end the round basically because
It
we
is.
haven't seen that happen in Ragnarok Asia Masters basically. Um yeah, it did happen once when the timer just went off,
Yeah.
but not in that way where they just clashed at the last 30 seconds of the match.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm. And there you go. Round one will go to Four Leaf Clover right here
Yes.
since they have more members left when the match ended. And I believe they didn't commit that suicidal destruction at that round. So, but for a lock, they actually push with their mechanic going to the side of Four Leaf Clover. But I didn't see that suicidal destruction connect or even land on a Four Leaf Clover members. Maybe it did, but that mechanic basically got pushed because yeah, he just got eliminated right there
Yes.
because 2 members were eliminated from unlock. I believe that was the mechanic and Shadow Chaser, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I think that's the mechanic and Shadow Chaser. Yes.
Since that Shadow Chaser, I gotta give props to that Shadow Chaser though. Shadow formation immediately on one member right there, as he tanked the damage coming from Four Leaf Clover to probably try and take someone out. But again, casting that Shadow formation, especially when everyone is so piled up
Yeah.
at the part or they're all crumpled together, it's really hard to target someone right there. So, having that specific targeting or aim practice with your skills
I like that. Yeah, aim practice.
can be a huge factor at playing as a Shadow Chaser, and you need to be quick. That's what I love about Shadow Chasers.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
you can expect the unexpected basically from Shadow Chasers.
Yep. That's actually true on the side of Shadow Chaser. Again, Shadow Chaser is actually one of those classes that's very, should I say like one of the best utility classes that we have right now, and the value of Shadow Chaser every time that he's gonna go in, the pressure that he provides to the group, the pressure that he provides to the enemy as well is, I think, it's actually one of the top classes that they should have when it comes to utility classes. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Shadow Chaser, let's go.
And yeah, both teams are just getting ready right now. And this is that's kind of interesting. I can say, um, because I know from this map, basically teams just want to have a go at each other at the start of the match. Because they
Yes.
just want to clash at the center. They would push using their mechanics, quickly go to the side of the opposing team, then maybe social destruction to just catch the other team off guard.
Yeah, basically.
But that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. They played it safe. They stick at the one spot, and they don't want to commit, even though there is a timer, like 1 minute left, and they still haven't attacked each other.
Yes.
So, I don't know why that happened or what their plan is, but yeah, nobody took the first move. They're just patiently waiting, basically.
Yeah.
Whoever had the most patience there basically had the advantage. But again, Four Leaf Clover was actually the winner in that match. They're the
Yes.
one who actually pushed in and attacked first.
Yeah.
Again, having that ranger in your lineup, you can dictate however it goes. Using no limits and casting that arrow storm.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure they don't have a barrier up, they don't have Numas on the ground. Maybe you can target someone down, dispel their Sura, or maybe you can target their Maestro or their Archbishop. If they're not secured, if they're not really um, prepared to take that much damage, they need to check their stack basically, because again that royal guard will go down if it hits multiple players and he casts devotion on multiple players right there.
Yes, I agree with that. And the same time, I just want to give like props as well on the side of Four Leaf Clover. Like they know what they're doing. Like the reaction time that they have, the moment that they saw that front slide on their stack, they immediately countered that mechanic. Right? That mechanic didn't have an instant sacrifice on top of him. I mean, like Unlock cannot save that mechanic anymore. So that's gonna be -1 on the side of Unlock. And the same time, I think there's a follow up as well coming from the Shadow Chaser. The Shadow Chaser got really punished really bad by Four Leaf Clover. So again, I think Four Leaf Clover is just taking advantage of the map as well. Like they know that
Well,
Unlock is gonna be kind of scared on pushing as well. So that's why they just waited, and I think Unlock has decided that okay, we're not gonna move. We're just gonna wait for you guys, something like that.
well, maybe they got, or Unlock got pinched for time right there. That's why they immediately pushed with that mechanics suicidal destruction,
Mm-hmm.
trying maybe to take one or two down with that SD.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't actually see that SD connect in my screen. So maybe in the stream I will actually check that or replay. But yeah, a lot of things just basically went on at the last 30 seconds of the match as Four Leaf Clover just pushed in again. Um, I like how they were scouting with their Sura
Yeah.
with not very dangerously low HP.
Yes.
So it's kind of safe to assume that that Sura is playing sort of a support slash
Utility.
DPS,
DPS. Yeah.
utility slash DPS, Sura, and maybe he has the right skill set to cast a specific skill to disable and eliminate their opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And having that Sura play or having that Sura to scout, especially when you have a ranger in your lineup for Four Leaf Clover, is a good thing. For Unlock, they have that Shadow Chaser. They can be safe.
Mm-hmm.
They can play it safe, but their Sura was the one scouting for them, I believe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, on the side of Four Leaf Clover, I think they played it pretty well. Like all of the cards went to their side. I mean, I understand as well why they didn't that Swizzle Destruction on their end, because again, the moment that they land that Swizzle Destruction, it's gonna be 100% commitment from their team, and they don't want to have that commitment, because again, we're talking about like few seconds, like last 10 seconds on that play. So if you're gonna go for that miracle play, you need to be prepared, mentally prepared, and have
You
a
need to be
safe
prepared to create miracles, basically.
miracles. Yeah, that's why it's Four Leaf Clover, right? So yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes. Whew, this is going to be an interesting round too. Hopefully, these teams will clash at each other at the start of the match so we can see something interesting happen right here. But, it is what it is. These teams are just playing it safe. They just want to secure their spot in the top 8, of course.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are watching right now, again, please do like and share our stream. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yes.
Shout out to yes sir.
I thought you were gonna say Yassi or something.
Shout out to Anonymous
Yeah.
Guild.
Oh,
First
let's
said
go.
Alan Miko.
Let's
Kai,
go.
what's up? Hopefully you're still there. Alright. And yeah. I don't know what to expect basically in round number 2
Well-
because we might have a repeat of what happened in round number 1. Basically, if they did that, most likely Unlock is going to be at a disadvantage because they already lost round number 1.
Yeah.
they need to take the initiative here in pushing four leaf clover because they don't want to lose round number 2 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct about that. They don't want to lose round number 2 because again, this is elimination round. The moment that you lose 2 rounds, it's gonna be a bye bye for your guild or for your team. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I think I respect the strategy of these two guilds right now. Again, this is actually the map that's not that like team favorite. On
Mm-hmm.
for our tournament. So that's why I think they have a less practice for this map. And regarding their strategy, yes, I respect the strats. They just don't want to commit those errors. Again, this is an elimination round, and we're talking about a huge prize pool here. Like everyone wants to grab that prize pool. So as much as possible, they don't want to commit any mistakes, play safe, and win the match.
And of course, you just mentioned the prize pool, MG. How much is our prize pool for
Oh,
Ragnarok Asia Masters
uh,
Season 2 or Ragnarok Asia Masters
yeah,
2023?
it's only 5,000 USD dollars, yo. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's only five
And of
thousand
course,
dollars US dollars.
some in-game perks can be, or in-game
Yeah.
rewards will be won by the players as well. So,
Yes.
these teams are really just pushing hard for this victory right now because
Yep.
again, this is going to be a huge thing for your team if you're able to win Ragnarok Asia Masters as well.
Yes.
Aside from the bragging rights, you get prizes.
Prizes.
It's a win-win situation for you. But in order for you to get there, you need to train hard and work hard to
Yeah.
eliminate all the other competitors here in Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Yes. And by the way, I really like how the teams are trying to slow down the tempo for this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for our top 32 matches, majority of the teams are doing the rush plays. But on this top 16 first match, they have a very slow tempo movement, scouting, a very defensive strategy coming from our teams. So I think it's gonna be a thing if they're gonna use this map. So yeah.
Well, it's really what you said earlier. They might not be used to this map this much. That's why they want to play it safe. They don't want to take the initiative in actually pushing the opponent. And, based on what your opponents know about this map, you can actually take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Again, if they're not really aware on where they want to go, on how they want to do, or how they want to push their opponent in this map, you can take advantage. Like having that choke point in the middle, like what you said, that middle ground with two bridges on the side. Those choke points, having that vacuum on there is going to be a huge thing. Of course, you don't want to get pushed there. That's why having that mechanic in your lineup is really important because mechanic can be a master of choke points. You can get pushed real hard, front slides, then just suicidal destruction all the way. And I want to see that happen. Maybe we'll see that later on in the following set of matches, or maybe here in round number 2. We'll see.
Yes. Again, what matters right now is who's gonna set the tempo and who's gonna be firm with their strategy. So is it gonna be 4-leaf clover? Are they gonna still stay at the middle, play defensively, and let no one enter that middle ground? Or is it gonna be unlocked? Who's gonna be playing aggressive and destroy that middle for 4-leaf clover? So it's gonna be a tough
Yes.
call for these two teams, but let's see if 4-leaf clover
Alright.
can secure a 2-0 or it's gonna be a 1-1 for unlocked.
Yes, and like what you say, MG, let's go as Unlock wants to push in really quickly right here. They occupy the middle ground already here. Extreme vacuums on the floor and 4-leaf clover. Where did they go, MG?
Actually, they didn't move on the respawn point. They just planting those.
Oh, unlock going in. Front slides will go on. Suicidal destruction actually not landing on
That's gonna be
4-leaf
my
clover. They're kind of aware of what's going to happen right here.
The reads.
And
Oh my god.
yeah, that's a waste of suicidal destruction, but full throttle will get committed by the Shadow Chaser. Of course, wants to go in, gates of hell,
They're gonna
eliminating
gates down?
that Sura. And same goes for that mechanic though of 4-leaf clover. He wants to go
Iron
in,
Storm?
but Unlock still has 5 members. Suicidal
Suicidal destruction!
destruction! I got lost for words right there. But yeah, nobody got
Oh,
eliminated by that suicidal
force it
destruction
now.
as arrow storms
Gates
will
of
go
Hell.
off, gates of will connect. Unlock has the advantage right
Let's go.
here. It's 5 versus 5, and windmill will go off. And Unlock just
First
ready
circle
for
again.
the attack right here. Gates of Hell trying to take one down. Four Leaf Clover only has 4 members left. No, 5 members
Five
left still
members.
for 4 Leaf Clover. That
Exceed break.
Sura wasn't able to actually cause
Oh,
that much damage, but that Ranger
Ranger is
of
down.
4 Leaf Clover got obliterated by this Royal Guard of Unlock.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I think I did
Next
one.
Eterna on this Royal Guard. Sorcerer of 4-Leaf Clover getting targeted right here. Safety walls will go off, of course. And you don't want to get hit by that much damage. Sorcerer can still have the attack right here, but of course Gates of
Yes.
Hell targeting that
Sorcerer,
Sorcerer.
very low.
4-Leaf Clover will get that Sorcerer of 4-Leaf Clover will get eliminated. Now it's going to be a Royal Guard battle. They just
Yes.
wanted to cast Exceed Rate against one another
Oh.
as 4-Leaf Clover's Royal Guard will get finished off right here as Unlock just surviving the battle, taking the battle to the spot of 4-Leaf Clover winning round number 2.
Wow. I mean, for a few minutes there, I thought that like Unlock kind of. I thought that they totally messed up the strategy on that one. But again,
Mm-hmm.
how they recovered their position, how they moved on their spot is really good. Like they know that they need to regroup and they know that they need to bounce back. Good regroup there.
Yes, and wow, quick attacks coming from 4-Leaf Clover, from Unlock, retaliation coming from 4-Leaf Clover. Again, Suicidal Destruction landed on all 5 members of Unlock that were left, but maybe because of deficiency or maybe he doesn't have that much damage to Unlock at that time. Even when that Suicidal Destruction landed, nobody from Unlock got eliminated right there. It was a perfect hit basically, and it was the moment my tongue got tied.
I mean, it's normal, bro. Like
A lot of things happen,
Like-
4-Leaf Clover. You're seeing 4-Leaf Clover and then Suicidal Destruction. Lots of L's right there. But anyway, that's a nice strategy coming from Unlock. They showed their prowess here by, going in first. Even when losing their mechanic at the start of a round, while the 4-Leaf Clover was aware that that might happen, they just waited there at their spot. They didn't get close to the middle where they can get damaged heavily by that Suicidal Destruction. So they are aware that it's a thing
yes.
in that map.
Yes. Again, it's really nice to see those comebacks, those clutch moments that they can actually just counter initiate the strategy of the opponent. I think on the part where on the side of 4-Leaf Clover that they want to punish that suicidal destruction, I think that kind of, for me, I think that's kind of greedy to push in. Like again, you have 7 members and you're fighting just 6 members and they don't have any initiator anymore on their side. I think they should be kind of playing it safe since it's a 0-1 already. But yeah, I think they just want to go for the kill and secure that 2-0 for 4-Leaf Clover. So
Well, 4-Leaf Clover kind of did play it safe, basically.
yeah.
They did play safe. As what you can see, they already eliminated that mechanic. But, Unlock
Like
was
after
aware.
that, yeah.
Unlock was aware. Unlock was aware of what's going to happen. Again, when it became a 5 versus 5 situation, Sura already went down for 4-Leaf Clover. The only DPS left is that Ranger. But you can only do so much if you don't have that no limits or unlimits on.
Yes.
And you need to eliminate that Royal Guard. Basically, you need to remove that defending aura. You don't
Yes.
need to remove that Archbishop. You can't have that Noom on the ground every time. And, that Sura can take you out immediately. He can tag that Arrow Storm. He can tag that Arrow Storm. And, you 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 can tag that with half HP. Then after that Arrow Storm hits, you can cast that Gates of Hell. You get eliminated really quickly. So
Yes.
having that Sura is really important as single target DPS to
Mm-hmm.
take down your opponent. But for for that Ranger though to survive in that midst of the battle, but the problem for the Ranger of Four Leaf Clover, he got a little bit separated when their whole team was at the top. That Ranger
Yeah.
was at the bottom. Utilizing maybe he has the Frildora card, he has the cloak, and just using that, utilizing that, trying to deal damage against Unlock. But that they work out for them. So maybe here in round number 3, strategies will change. Things will change here for Four Leaf Clover and Unlock. Again, Unlock doesn't want to commit that same mistakes because that's going to be dangerous for them. That mechanic needs to be a little bit more careful and need to have a little more accuracy with that suicidal destruction.
Yeah.
And they know that Four Leaf Clover is aware that it can happen.
Yes.
That's why, they really spread out at the start of the match.
Yes.
And they even casted some vacuums on the floor right there, and they didn't move from their starting point.
Yes. I think Unlock managed to lock everything up. Unlock, like they locked Four Leaf Clover on that box. Again, yes, the Ranger kinda tried to flank the players of Unlock there, but again, he got isolated really bad by that Royal Guard, and basically he got really punished by that Exceed Break coming from that Royal Guard on the side of Unlock. Plus, it's a 1-1. So basically, all strategies gonna be resetted. If they're gonna repeat the strategy of Four Leaf Clover, a middle strat on the side of Four Leaf Clover, it's gonna be a another decoding on the side of Unlock on how they can actually penetrate that middle. But if Four Leaf, but if Unlock decided to rush in play Four Leaf Clover, that's gonna be a problem again on the side of Four Leaf Clover on how they can actually counter attack that rush play. Are they gonna stay still at the respawn point, or are they gonna move on a separate on a different spot? So that's gonna be a different thing that they need to figure out. Both teams has they actually brought new strats on the first and second round. So third match, I'm not sure on how or who's gonna
Third
dictate.
round.
Third round. I'm not sure who's gonna dictate the facing on this one, but I'm definitely sure that the first team that who's gonna dictate the rhythm and the tempo for this one will win the third round. So yeah.
Well, let's set our expectations right here, MG. I'm expecting a third round. They might have a clash at the middle of the map.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that might happen. Because again, both teams just want to take the victory against one another right here. But it can what also can happen is the repeat of round number 1, right? Where they just waited it out. But that's kind of disadvantages for Unlock.
Yeah.
So Four Leaf Clover needs to come up with a different strategy if Unlock is going to push them. And Unlock knows they can take Four Leaf Clover down with that kind of play. So if Four Leaf Clover can actually counter that aggression, maybe they're the ones who can dictate the pace. They can go in first. And like what you said, who dictates the rhythm of this round can probably take advantage of the other team. They can win this round and move on to the top 8 of Ragnarok Asian Masters 2023.
Oof. Yeah. Third round for this one. So I mean, we have a lot of theory crafting about what strategy are they gonna pull off and execute on this one. But again, are we gonna see a different strategy coming from Unlock or Four Leaf Clover? I'm not sure, but definitely one of these teams is gonna be really relentless when it comes for round number 3. Definitely, we're gonna see maybe a rush push coming from Four Leaf Clover to set the tempo off on the side of Unlock, or maybe Unlock will play defensively for Four Leaf Clover. So
we'll know in just a bit as these teams are just getting all set. Of course, they're still buying their respective items. I'm pretty sure most of them used all of their potions right there.
yes.
And for round number 3, they need to be prepared. Because this is going to be it. This is going to be their final round for one team right here. This is going to be their last say. They need to show it their all right now.
Yeah. And I think that this is
All
the
right.
longest match that we have for season 2. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think this is the first time that they managed to like use the entire um 7 minutes.
Yes, and MG, they're both at the starting point right now. And as these teams are just getting all set, do we have some class changes right here, MG, on your side?
Oh, okay. Yes, on the side of Unlock, they actually removed their mechanic. They opted out for a or opt in for a Rune Knight for this one. So this is
Mm-hmm.
actually this Rune Knight will actually bring a much balanced pressure coming from the side of Unlock plus the sustain as well. Again, the Rune Knight can actually absorb decent damage as well, so that can actually help the Royal Guard to not overextend those potion consumptions or heals coming from the Archbishop. This is
Mm-hmm.
actually one of the good classes that they can actually put, and it also synergizes as well on the Shadow Chaser, wherein every time that the Shadow Chaser is gonna commit inside, the Rune can actually commit as well. So two front pressure as immediate push coming from Unlock. So I think this is a pretty well lineup coming from Unlock. A good adjustment.
Yes. Well, in my opinion, though, um, that's that can be a hit or miss, but because again,
Yeah.
having no mechanic, you don't have that neutral barrier on. You are dealing with a ranger against four leaf clover right here, so you really don't want to remove that neutral barrier on your for your team,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not really sure about that, but again, having that Rune Knight is a lot more stable, like what you said. And Four Leaf Clover is still rocking that same lineup with that mechanic and Ranger. And of course, both teams they just want to take it to the middle. Maybe nobody's actually going at the
Yeah.
middle right now. They want to move to a different spot for leaf cover. Of course, here on the right side, unlock on the left bridge for first win to go in. Dragon's Breath will go off here. Land Protector on the floor as well. Decoys here coming from that mechanic. The spells will
The
go
spells.
off. Third circle, no. Actually, no one went in. Gates of
Oh,
Hell
here we
coming
go.
from Four Leaf Clover. And front slide going in suicidal
Was
destruction. But no one actually went down because Gates of Hell connected immediately right there. Shadow
the pressure
Formation
now?
coming from Unlock. Four Leaf Clover is getting targeted right here. Four Leaf Clover is
Here we go.
losing members one by one. And as you can
Sacrifice.
see, Bloody Lust got casted on the floor for a little bit right there. But
Dragon's Breath.
it got immediately removed. And as you can see, Unlock still has control over the battle right now, but Exceed Breaks coming from Four Leaf Clover right here. Diamond Dust and Exceed
hitting
Breaks
back right now.
coming from the Sorcerer and Royal Guard. Both Sura still alive, and they are just trying to deal damage to each other right there. Four Leaf Clover targeting that Sorcerer of Unlock. Exceed Breaks going off. Unlock here at the top of the map. They actually don't want to step on that magnetic earth right here. Curse Circle will go off. And Four Leaf Clover,
Oh, one down?
Four Leaf Clover went down. As Four Leaf Clover is down to 4 members. Dragon's Breath is getting casted
Anyone
here
out?
on the members of Four Leaf Clover. Curse Circle as well to disable them, and Unlock still has huge control. 2 members left for Four Leaf Clover. Lex Eterna plus a lot of damage. Dragon's Breath, of course. Gates of Hell continuous damage against that Royal Guard. And the last one will go down as Unlock will be winning round number 3.
Wow, that was a really high intense pressure coming from on the side on both teams actually. So, but again, Unlock managed to push in and win the round on that one.
And wow, what a round number 3 actually.
Yes.
It was a good way for Unlock to actually show that show their aggression in the last 2 rounds, because again, the playing safe strategy kind of didn't work out for them, like
Yeah.
what we've seen in round number 1. They just patiently waited for their opponent, but because they got the confidence in round number 2, they took it to the next step, took it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
and actually initiated the fights going in. Of course, for that third round, Runite was the first one who went in. Dragon's Breath casted on the floor. Even with the spells going off here for both sides, I like how the Shadow Chaser of Four Leaf, or rather from Unlock, actually went in. Shadow Formation to probably take someone down with him as he tanks that damage getting dealt to that
Yes.
Shadow Chaser. But yeah, it was a good match, and congratulations to Unlock for moving on to the top
Yes.
8.
Congrats. But again, definitely a good performance as well, coming on the side of Four Leaf Clover, right? So there's actually a huge exchange of damages on both sides. On the side of Four Leaf Clover and Unlock, they tried to take down the backlane as fast as they can, but apparently there is like from time to time a regroup that they just want to restart and refresh everything, like try to remove those debuffs immediately. And I think there is multiple debuffs got connected to several players as well, so I think that's why there is a small like space there that they just need to regroup and heal up and attack again. So good performance coming from Unlock and Four Leaf Clover. From a slow phase
Yes.
tempo fight to a mid tempo to a high aggression strat fights coming from Unlock and Four Leaf. So good match,
Yes.
good
Good
match.
set of matches we have
Yes.
right there. And that's it for match number 1. Match number 2, who are our participants for match number 2, MJ.
Yes. For our match number 2, it's gonna be Dignity versus Integrate.
All
Yes.
right.
Match number 2.
And match number 2 will be starting in just a bit. But before we actually head on to that match, as the teams are just making their final adjustments, we are going to be taking a short break.
Ooh.
When we come back, it's going to be match number 2, Dignity versus Integrate.
Integrate.
Sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
Yes.
Hey guys, we're back here at Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And
Yeah.
yeah. Match number 2 unfortunately isn't going to push through as Dignity is going to be the default winner as
Integrate.
Integrate will be disqualified because of the lack of members and no show of members. Right.
Yes.
And because of that, we are going to push on to match number 3 in just a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, match number 3 is going to be Kawan Ido versus Essence. All right. As the teams are just getting all set and ready right now. And based on the looks of it, a lot of them are actually online right now. So we might
Yes.
start that in just a bit. But to let you guys just know, match number 2, Dignity won by default and will move on to the top 8 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. All right. And yeah, match number 3 is going to be starting in just a bit. Teams are just getting all set and
Yes.
ready right now. And we'll head on over in transition later on. So yeah, please stay tuned for a
Yeah.
bit. We'll be starting our next match in a while. All right.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys in just a bit. Hey guys, we are back here at Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. Once again, we are your casters. My name is
And my name
James.
is MG. Let's go!
Let's go indeed as match number 3 shop timer is counting down right now. This is going to be the match between Kawan Ido versus Essence.
Yes.
And what are your expectations from these two teams, MJ?
Well, basically, my expectation for these two teams right now, either you might see a same strategy on our first match of the day, that wherein majority of the teams are playing it safe, because again, this is one of those maps that it's really hard to position your team. And if you're gonna position your team on those specific location, like for example at the middle, or you're gonna flank on the top side, or just sitting on the respawn point, it will still depend, or it will depend on your lineup as well, basically. Because again, majority of the location or spots of this map doesn't have that open space. Like if you're gonna move on the middle, you need to cross a bridge, wherein on that bridge you only have like two cells on that one, and 12 cells maybe length on that bridge. So it's pretty dangerous if you're just gonna walk there alone, or even if you're gonna put those Numas or land protector, it's gonna be really tough for your team. So
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
it depends on the lineup basically.
yeah, a lot of things to expect actually from these two teams as based on the lineup alone. I can say this is going to be pretty much a stable lineup for one team right here. But we'll go on, or we'll discuss more about the lineups in just a bit as we move on to the starting part later on. And yeah, for those of you guys who are still watching this stream, sorry it took a while, but we are back for match number 3. Again, this is Kawan Ido versus Essence. And shout out to everyone in the chat right now. To Trix, shout out to Boss MG and Sir James. Hello, hello.
Yeah, Trix.
Good luck, participants at Braille. And hopefully you're all having a good evening right now.
Yes.
Because currently where we're at, it's so hot here though. It's really so hot here.
Why so hot?
Yeah, but I want to be in the map where they are, like in a
the
in
chill
a like a
spot.
cold, chill,
Yeah.
snowy area. But yeah, we can only dream.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, though, we are now at the starting point. MG, let's actually move on to the starting point right now. Of course, test hits will initiate to check if everything is working fine. And yeah, let's discuss about the lineups of these two teams. MG, what can you see on your end?
Yes, for the team Kawan Ido, they're rocking the 5 core classes, which is the Royal Guard, the Minstrel, the Sorcerer, the Archbishop, and the Sura. I think they're still missing. There is the Sura, and their 2 added classes is gonna be the Warlock and Shadow Chaser.
All right, and for the side of Essence, though, they have a Rune Knight and a Shadow Chaser as well. All right. And yeah, there's going to be a stable lineup for these two teams. I'm prepared to see some intense engagements, maybe some full throttles in the first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, they need to be checking the strategies of their opponents as well. If one commits full throttle, or that Shadow Chaser commits to full throttle, they need to retreat for a little bit right there, unless they go in for the, or all go in for that push, or maybe you yourself, your Shadow Chaser can commit the full throttle as well, or maybe your Rune Knight, because like what we've said before, that full throttle can really greatly improve your stats and attack power.
Yes.
And a Rune Knight with a full throttle paired with a Bragi, can cause a lot of damage in an AoE. So it's really dangerous to tackle on a Ranger, or rather a Rune Knight with a full throttle on. And the best way to deal with that full throttle is to wait for that full throttle to wear off, or just take him out immediately.
Yes.
Just really, really take him out immediately.
True. Yes, and at the same time, again, positioning is everything for this map. Again, you need to set your momentum on top of your enemy. You need to set your tempo right away, because if you're gonna let your opponents do that to you, it's gonna be a problem. Like, you're gonna have a hard time on maneuvering your entire team, because again, we're talking about like a very tight spot here. Like, even if you're gonna move on the north side or your south side of this map, you don't have that enough room to do a quick flank and so on.
Mm-hmm. And we all know how this map is.
Yeah.
No mechanics will be played right now on round number 1. So I don't expect any suicidal plays here
Yes.
in a bit. Of course, suicidal destruction can be a thing like what we've seen in round 2 of match number 1, wherein a quick front slide and suicidal destruction. So we won't be having any of that right now here in match number 3. But it
Mm-hmm.
can all change. In round number 2, maybe a member of uh, a team can actually use that mechanic, because again, having a mechanic in this map has huge advantages,
Yes, I agree.
but it really depends on how you counter a mechanic as well. I like how 4-leaf clover did it in match
Yeah.
number 1, just moving away and just keeping that mechanic on check.
Yep.
And Unlock actually noticed that. That's why they opted for Runite instead.
Yes.
So it really depends on how you deal with
Well,
your opponents. The
yes.
strategies work.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, like majority of the guilds right now, they're very familiar on how the mechanic works compared to season 1. Like, technicalities about the mechanic, like every time that the mechanic is gonna go in, like some players are gonna drain the SP out, so the mechanic cannot cast that suicidal destruction, or the positioning as well of the team. Like, most of them are kind of spread out. Like, two players are gonna be really exposed just to bait those mechanics to do their suicidal destruction. After doing the suicidal destruction, um they can actually counter immediately the mechanic and take it down, so they can actually force the 6v7 scenario immediately. So I think
Mhm.
the changes that happened on our first match is actually really good. The adjustment that they had on that one, making sure that they're trying to lessen the errors and mistakes that they have on the execution. So that's why they went for a much balanced classes, because they know that four-leaf clover can actually counter the mechanic.
That's why I'm really looking forward to match number 3 right here, because
Mm-hmm.
again, we've seen match number 1. We've seen how they pace things out and dictate how the match goes. Maybe they can learn from match number 1. Maybe they want to be aggressive in this map instead of just playing it safe.
Yeah.
It really depends on how they prepared take on their opponent in this match. So yeah, as the teams are just getting set, one member does got technical difficulties earlier, so that's why we needed to have a quick refresh
Yes.
of our team members right here. But yeah, countdown timer, or the timer has been set, and now we are just waiting for this match to start right now. Match number 3, Kawan Ido versus Essence.
Yes.
How will this play out? I'm curious. I'm curious. Will Kawan Ido or Essence actually take this middle ground immediately? Because they're actually playing with a Rune Knight and a Shadow Chaser. So like they can scout using their Shadow Chaser, and that Sura can be at the back lane like what we've seen in round number 1 or round 1 of um Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Yeah.
And most of the teams that were playing with the Sura at the back lane, just having the Shadow Chaser check, Rune Knight going in next,
Yeah.
then Sura to finish off and pick off the members of the opposing team. So we
Yes.
might see that happen here as a match, or round number 1 of match number 3 is starting right now.
Yep. And right now on the side of Kawanido, they're actually moving on the north side, same spot where Unlock is trying to camp here. And right now they're setting up.
Quick push. Dragon's Breath, though, from Essence, just damaging your Warlock. Soul
There we go.
Expansion right here, targeting 1. And the Faint Bombs will get casted. Safety wall on the
Going in
floor.
now.
Magnetic
Masquerade.
Masquerade Ignorance
Oh,
actually. Side Blaster
Side
casting,
Blaster.
getting casted by Warlock. Warlock will get eliminated. Dragon's Breath will just keep on pushing in. As you can see Kawan Ido just playing it a little bit safe right here. Shadow Formation on that Sorcerer. And he didn't notice that that Shadow Chaser actually has that Shadow Formation casted
Yep.
on that Sorcerer. Shadow Chaser of Kawan Ido, just playing it a little bit safe.
Dispel.
Royal Guard, at the front will get knocked
Oh.
down here by Essence. Essence just pushing in, vacuums on the floor, but of course Magnetic Earth will cancel that out. Dragon's Breath, Soul Burn on that Rune Knight. And you can see Magic Stakes. Oh, Gates of Hell, continuous Gates of Hell here coming from Essence. As Kawan Ido will lose all their members right here. I'm not sure if that Shadow Chaser is still alive, but Essence with a quick push finishing Kawang Ido in this round.
Yes, that's actually a good push coming from Essence. They know their lineup. They know that they can actually put pressure right away. Like without any hesitation, that Shadow Chaser went in. And the positioning of the Warlock on the side of Kawan Ido was really exposed. I think that's kind of off position coming from Kawan Ido. And I think the moment that Warlock got exposed, I think they are having a hard time on saving that Warlock. That's why it's actually a go-to push coming from a Shadow Chaser. And they just went in and, take down the Warlock immediately on that one.
Well, I'm not really sure why they opted for that safety wall though. I believe Numo would have been better for that Warlock. Having that safety wall, you're only preventing yourself from getting maybe Exceed Break.
Yeah.
Or any other close range or melee damage. But having that Numa, of course, you can reduce the chances of getting hit by Gates of Hell, that Dragon's Breath, and that Warlock, I believe, like what you said, is misplaced.
Yes.
Again, he was really in front of. He was like the tank, the frontliner. He was like the frontliner of Kawan Ido there in round number 1.
Yes.
And basically, Essence just pushed in. Ignorance immediately getting casted there on that Warlock. I'm not sure if it really hit. But yeah, they really tried saving that Warlock. But again, he was all by himself right there. And no cursed circles, I believe, were casted against Essence. So that Warlock really can perform with a lot of people just attacking him right there. Along with that continuous Dragon's Breath by the Rune Knight of Essence.
Yes.
Kawan Ido really had a hard time. They got really pinched and pushed
Yes.
by Essence in round number 1.
Yes, and at the same time, that's the beauty of having like a Rune Knight on your lineup, because again, Rune Knight can actually sponge damage. He can actually absorb those huge damage without relying too much on the sacrifice of the Royal Guard. And the moment that he got the position earlier on that one, he just maintaining that position, sustaining the location, making sure that any characters on the side of Kawan Ido, he's actually basically disabling the attempts coming from Kawan Ido. Plus, I think the MVP for that round is gonna be on the Essence side, the Shadow Chaser. He's not scared. He know what to do, and he knows who's the priority target for that match. So he just went in and do his job, and the rest just snowballed on Kawan Ido. So yeah.
Well, I gotta agree with you though. The Shadow Chaser really performed well in round number 1. Just casting that mask on that Warlock, then immediately targeting that Sorcerer. Shadow Formation, of course, tanking that Gates of Hell. I believe because that Shadow Formation was still up on that Sorcerer of Kawan Ido. He took a lot of damage by that Gates of Hell, by their own Sura. So yeah, Shadow Formation for that Sorcerer or Shadow Chaser. And that quick masks and just knows how to position himself in round number 1 really outdid what Kawan Ido is planning to do there in that round.
Yes. And again, I think on the side of Kawan Ido, if they really want to penetrate the defense of Essence, they just need to go in immediately. I mean, that Shadow Chaser needs to do his job, hit the back lane or pressure the Rune Knight on the side of Essence in order for him not to, put those pressure on top of his teammates. And again, positioning. The number one key there is the positioning of the Warlock. The moment the Warlock is exposed, that's gonna be the number one target on the side of Essence. So that Warlock needs to play safe because again, if it's a DPS, he needs to play safe because he's gonna be like first target or first priority target on that clash. So yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I think they planned it that way.
Yeah.
Most likely they planned it that way because again, if the Sura of Kawan Ida is playing with low HP, you just want to take it. You just want to hold back. You want to be the second entry for your team because you can go in first. You can get eliminated really quickly, and having that Warlock as a initiator for that match, they tried to make it work. But again, the output of the damage was really lacking there for a little bit. But they need to dispel the right players. They need to disable the right players from their opponents. And Kawan Ido needs to push with their whole team instead of just that Warlock, sitting at the middle of the match.
Exactly.
Or the middle of the clashes.
Yes. Like I said earlier, they need commitment. If they're gonna commit on damage, do the damage. Don't play safe for your team. Again, the moment that you have your Warlock in front, everybody should be pushing right away. Everybody should be setting the pressure on the side of Kawan Ido because again, if you're gonna leave your Warlock there, it's gonna be automatic dead. Plus, if you're gonna do damage on the side of Kawan Ido, yes, I agree, the spell is a must that they need to cast on those players who's gonna take those damages from Kawan Ido. So yes, dispel, and damage, and aggression as well on the side of Kawan Ido.
And that is MG's take on that one. Don't fear commitment.
Yeah, just don't fear. Again, this is elimination, and if you want to bring big guns, just bring the big guns and do it.
Alright. Okay. As we are now at the starting point of round number 2 of match 3. And I gotta say though, I've seen a few changes right here from Kawan Ido. But how about there in the side of Essence?
On the side of Essence, I think they're still using the Shadow Chaser and Rune Knight on this one. Plus the 5 core classes.
Oh, okay. So still the same classes for Essence. For Kawan Ido, they actually opted for that mechanic. But they still have that Warlock though.
Oh.
So mechanic and Warlock. So this is going to be interesting. Again, that mechanic, if you don't want to commit just yet, barrier on the ground, of course, to prevent that Rune Knight from causing more damage. But yeah, they need to have a decent strategy to be able to deal against Essence right here. If they want to really take it to the next level.
Yes, I agree. At the same time, they have a 2 DPS now. So meaning, the Sura on the side of Kawan Ido might play a utility type of Sura, landing those curse circles so they can actually push that Suicidal Destruction and those magic damage coming from the Warlock.
As Essence right now just waiting patiently here for Kawan Ido. Kawan Ido is actually doing the same thing, but of course they might push in right now. They are heading on to the bridge. Front slides, of course, that mechanic wants to go in first. We might not see any neutral barriers right here. They might go in for that quick attack and quick push coming here from Kawan Ido.
Yes, and on the side of
they are positioning themselves right here. Mechanic, Magnetic Earth first on the floor. Sorcerer wants to go in first. Essence is actually just backing down right now, casting their buffs and waiting for Kawan Ido to push in.
Okay, and I think one of the reasons why the Sura on the side of Essence is not a red HP, he just wants to make sure that he has enough HP to at least sustain the damage coming from Kawan Ido and maybe do a quick circle immediately just to do a counter initiate on the Suicidal Destruction.
And now you can see right here, the mechanic is getting ready, just placing those decoys right here. But again, they just want to make sure they have the right space, right choke point to cast the suicidal destruction. No front slide, backslide right here.
Land protector.
Waiting for the
Magnetic Earth.
waiting for Kawanido to attack.
Oh!
So expansion, backslide, front slide again. Dragon's Breath by Essence. Shadow formation once
Suicidal
again.
destruction.
Sacrifice,
Oh,
of
damage.
course. Dragon's Breath will get casted here on Kawanido. Kawanido is getting pushed once again by Essence. Essence just held strong. Gates of Hell will connect one by one. Mechanic trying to
Wow.
survive, but will get eliminated as Essence will be getting round number 2 as well.
Wow, that's actually a good push coming from on the side of Essence. Essence is really patient on their positioning. They know that there's gonna be an offset cell on that side wherein there is a like a small tree at the middle of the at that fight, forcing that off front slide coming from Kawan Ido. But yeah, good patient there coming from Essence, recognizing the advantage that they have on that terrain. Yeah.
Just the proper map awareness from these
Yes.
teams. Essence just patiently waited for. Essence just patiently waited for Kawan Ido to push in, and Kawan Ido, because they are a little bit desperate because, they lost the first round.
Yeah.
They need to win it back. Basically, they need to take back round number 2. So it will be 1-1.
Yes.
But again, Essence just had that map awareness. They know where to position themselves when dealing with the mechanic. They know how to, position themselves in the map, basically. And they're ready for Kawan Ido to push in. When Kawan Ido actually pushed in, Essence backed down to cast their buffs once again, to get ready for the fight, to position themselves at that spot so that mechanic won't be able to deal that much damage.
Yes, good read there. Basically, on the side of Essence, basically they're very disciplined on that match. We saw how the timing that they actually pulled off. They tried to bait in. I mean, Kawan Ido tried to bait in Essence, the front slide, backslide, from that mechanic. But again, Essence did a wonderful job by just patiently waiting. Again, there is an off spot there of on the side of Kawan Ido. That's why it's kind of awkward on doing the front slide, full front slide, to hit the back lane of Essence. Sorry. At the same time, he's gonna do the front slide, it will take like 2 front slides. So it will take time for him to reach the back lane because again, the spacing coming from Essence to Kawan Ido was perfectly executed there. They know where to range pressure and they know they need to fall back slowly where they just want to bait in Kawan Ido on their lure, then punish everyone one by one. So yeah, good push.
Yes. And that's it for match number 3. Congratulations again to
Yes.
Essence for moving on to the top
Let's go.
8 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And now we are getting ready for match number 4. It's going to be Hers versus RP1JT. So before we head on to that match, we'll be taking hopefully a very short break.
Hopefully.
When we come back, it's going to be match number 4. So stick around and stay tuned. Hey guys, we are back here at Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, and it's going to be very unfortunate because we are not going to have a match number 4,
Yes.
as
Sad.
RP1JT will get disqualified because of lack of players, and hers will automatically win by default, moving on to the top 8 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Yes.
So yeah. Very, very unfortunate that we didn't see a lot of matches for tonight. But let's actually take a look at what we are going to be having, what we are going to be watching on the next day of Ragnarok Asia Masters. MG?
Yes. For our next day, it's gonna be team building versus arrogant. Our first match. Second match is gonna be hierarchy versus Wakana. Third match is gonna be team passions versus sight like, and our last match is gonna be resonance versus immunity.
Yes. All right. And that will be on Wednesday,
Yes.
April 5th. And yeah, that's going to be day 6 and the last set of matches for top 16 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. Again, it's very unfortunate, and we do apologize for the long wait times, but yeah, it is what it is for now.
Well, at least we saw like 2 good matches.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw like a long match, number 1, and a good match. Yeah, but that dictates the pace for what we have. Let's base it on that one. And yeah, congratulations to all the teams moved on to the top 8 of the bracket, or the top 8, or in the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, yes.
Yes, all right. So yeah, that's going to be it for
Yes.
tonight. Again, next day for Ragnarok Asia Masters, or day 6 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, will be on April 5. That's on Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT plus 8.
Yes.
And that's all we have for tonight. Once again, we are your casters. My name is James.
Hey, my name is MG.
And we'll see you guys again next time. Bye, guys.